Good afternoon, students. This side Dr. Isha, and we will start from the point topic which we have covered yesterday of Unit 4th. Yesterday we have discussed about the group and the nature of the group and why people join the group. So today our topic will be steps of group formation. See, there are different steps by which a group has formed. So basically there are 5 steps by which a group is initiated and it constructed and it is functionally optimally. So there are steps are where we will discuss. There is the 5 stage model of group development. One is forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. In forming a team, basically acquaintance, yeah, and established group ground rules, formalities are preserved, and members are treated as a stranger. So in this is the very first stage of group development. So in the forming stage, people are from different diverse background. They come and join of a group, and they are very strange to each other. So they try to understand the nature, the behavior, and the perspective of different persons. Basically, they do the formality. The next is storming. In the storming session is the second step of group development in which members start to communicate their feelings but still view themselves as the individual rather than the part of the team. They resist control by group leaders and show hostility. In this particular stage, in the storming stage, people are still they are new in the organization, in the group. They try to associate with each other but they treat themselves as on the individual level because they are not that much connected with the other members of the group. Next is norming. People feel part of the team and realize that they can achieve the work if they respect other viewpoint. In this particular norming stage, a group start functioning well. People try to understand each another. They are treating themselves as the part of the group, and they also accept the viewpoints of other. What other is saying, they also try to understand that also. The next is the performing. This is the best stage of a group in which the group cohesiveness, the bonding between the group members are at the high level. So the teamwork in an open and trusting atmosphere where flexibility is the key and the hierarchy of a little importance. Next is adjourning. The team conducts an assessment of the year and implement a plan for transitioning roles and recognizing member contribution. So this is basically adjourning type of in which we have to make the assessment of the whole year, what a team or what a group has performed during the last year, in which the association between the team member going to decrease slightly, less than the performing. So these all are the 5 stage model of group development: forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Okay, so the next topic is group structure. So basically there are, as we have to discuss the group structure, 4 different aspects of group structures are norms, roles, status, and cohesiveness. As we have already discussed, okay, these are the 4 aspects by which the structure of a group depends. See, the group structure is also depend upon the size of the organization, the nature of the organization, and the customers or the market to whom an organization is dealing. On such aspects, the structure of the group are also depends. So these are the norms, roles, status, and cohesiveness. So we will start from norms. What is norms? Group norms are the set of beliefs, feelings, and attitude commonly shared by group members. These are also referred to as rules or standards of behavior that apply to group members. Norms serve 3 functionally namely. See, what are norms? Norms are basically rules and regulations by which all the group members are abide. They have to share their feelings, their attitude commonly by each and every members. See, in the group, if you are in the group, then the each and every person of the group has to follow similar rules and regulations. These are also referred to as rules or standard of behavior that apply to group members. Norms serve 3 functional namely: number 1, they have to be predictive. basis for understanding the behavior of others. We have to predict the behavior of the others also. If some other member in the group are not performing well, then we have to understand, it is the duty of the other member of the group to understand or to predict the nature and the behavior of the other team members or the group members. Next, relational. Some norms define relationship. It means that we have to make the relation, the bonding between the different group members. We have to control, we have to regulate the behavior of others also. See, in the group or in the organization, it happens, it has seen many times that my behavior depends on other behavior also, as well other behaviors are also depend or may be hampered by others behavior also. So next is role. Various parts or roles are played by group members. See, in the group, each and every player, every member has to play different roles. There are two elements that define this role identity. Number one, role perception and role expectation. See, we all are having different roles in the organization. We know what for what we are in the organization. That is our role. We in the organization, if someone is having the role ambiguity for what he is in the organization, then this is not a fruitful situation for the organization. Each and everyone should know for what they are in the organization. So various parts or roles are played by the group members. These are the two elements. Number one is role perception. What is role perception? An individual is expected to behave according to his own perception in the group. Each and every individual is having his own perception of seeing the things, so he has to perform, he has to behave as per their perception. Next is role expectation. It is defined as how others believe one should behave in a given situation. Okay, so this is the role. Next is status. Status is a socially defined position or rank given to a group or group members by others. What other persons perceived about a group, what others thinks about a group, that is known as the status. It is defined basically the position or the aura which is created by a group. Group members get high status or low status in the group based on their authority and performance. On the basis of different authority and the performance, an individual or the group status is recognized. Last, cohesiveness. Cohesiveness is basically how the people are interrelated, interconnected, and associated with each other in the group. So cohesiveness basically social and task cohesiveness. Social cohesiveness means that people are socially interrelated with each other, they are mingling, they are accepting each another, they are associating with each and everyone in the group. The bond of interpersonal attraction that links group member. See, in the group member, we have some bonds, we have some force by which group members are associated or bonded with each other, or the task, the way in which skills and ability of the group members mesh to allow optimal performance. So these are basically the four different aspects of group structure, how the group structure works. So these are the four basic different aspects of group structure. One is norms, roles, status, and cohesiveness. After this, I think these all are clear to you. Now next, the very important topic is group decision making. See, individually for making decision, there are different aspects on the basis of which we make the decisions in the organization. But making decisions in group is not as much easy as much we can make the decisions individually. So while making the group decision making, we have to see different things. So group decision making is a process of taking decisions collectively by the group of members. Group consists of committees, task force, teams, and other formal and informal groups. Formal and informal groups we have already discussed earlier. Group decision would become particularly appropriate for non-program decisions, that is new or unique decisions. Example, moving to the new market, product diversification, and new investment, etc. See, in the organization we have non-program decisions and program decisions. Non-program decisions are those decisions which are not very frequently in nature. Okay, it happens after 2 years, 3 years, or once in a while. But the program decisions are those decisions which are very routine in nature, which happens in the organization time to time, and organizations are having some policies, some strategies of to deal with those decision makings. Process of decision making, there are 6 steps basically of making the decision. Number one, we have to identify the problem. We have to first identify the problem for which we have to make the decision, then analyze the problem. We have to analyze the problem. Ki problem is too urgent that we have to make this decision right now, or we may delay it, or we if we can delay it, then how much time we can delay it. Development alternative solution, then we make alternative solution regarding the same, then selecting the best solution, then among the different alternative we select the best solution, converting decision into action. Then we decide whatever we have decided, we do it, we implement it, we convert it into the action, and then follow up of the action is taken up. So this is the all the process of making the decisions in the organization. That much for today. I think the structure or the aspects of the group structure, or the stages of group formation and the decision making or process of decision making is clear to all of you. If you have any problem related to it, you may get back to me. I will be available all the time. Thank you so much, students.